Good evening friends, I am Gopi Krishna from Glorious IAS Academy. Today we will discuss about MSP, Minimum Support Price. Yesterday in Hindu a news article came. Basically it talks about Cabinet Committee approval of MSP for Kharif Crops. So we will analyze this news report, and also we will see the MSP issue holistically. How MSP historically started, what it wants to achieve, and what are the issues with it, and how MSP, foreign countries accuse that it's against WTO rules. We will see all the issues comprehensively. Let's start with the Hindu news item, which says Cabinet Committee approves MSP for Kharif crops. Outlay stands at 2.7 lakh crores, 2.07 lakh crores. Don't worry if the news item is not visible to you. Basically, it's for the Kharif crops. So, what is Kharif crops mean? Most of you will know, but some of us who doesn't know, Kharif, the word Kharif is a Arabic word. Kharif means autumn in Arabic, and Rabi means spring. This represents two seasons. So Kharif crops means whose the crops which are sown in June, July, and which are cut during autumn, that is October. They are called Kharif crops. So before the sowing season, government comes up with the MSP, minimum support price. The heart and soul of the reason behind this is so that farmers will know how much minimum price they are going to get. Sometimes because of the bumper crops, because supply is more, then the crop, the selling price may fall down because of the economic factors of supply and demand. So to create a safety net for the farmers and to give a minimum income, government comes up with this, and the outlay is 2.07 lakh crores. So this is not a small amount, friends. If you see, budget allocation, total expenditure, let's say it's around 50 lakh crores. This is almost 4% of it, and this is only for Kharif crops. And again, we have Rabi crops also. If you compare both, if you combine both, it will be more. But out of the 2.07 lakh crores, we will see there are total 23 crops, Kharif plus Rabi, government gives MSP. It has different crops, but majority, the rice and wheat, they take 90% of the outlay. The 90% of the outlay goes to rice and wheat, and the rest goes to pulses, oil seeds, and also commercial crops and other grains. So that is one issue. And second issue, you must have read that for the Niger seed and Sesamum seed, the increase in MSP is very high. The highest MSP increase for Niger seeds. So what is Niger seed? In Telugu we call it nuvulu, in Hindi til bolte. So basically Niger seed outlay is one of the highest. The increase is 820 rupees per quintal increase compared to last year. So what does government is trying to say? Government is promoting the edible oils. As you must be aware, India imports 55 to 60% of edible oils. So it was not always like this. Say till 1990, India was self-sufficient in edible oils. We used to use groundnut oil or sunflower oil, through traditional methods. But after 1990, in 1995, because of the agreement with the WTO, we have reduced our import restrictions on the edible oils, and then palm oil and soybean oil, palm oil from Southeast Asia, soybean oil from Latin America, the cost is very less. So their imports started increasing and palm oil consumption started growing. But palm oil is bad for health also. It has more saturated fats. There is a discussion on this, both sides have something to say, and there is also an allegation that palm oil has cancer causing substances also. So because of all these reasons, and also government want to reduce import dependency on the edible oil. That's why we have a national mission on edible oils and oil seeds also. That is a 7-year mission. You can relate it with this topic also. You can read that, and so as a student you have to relate as many topics as possible so that your memory becomes stronger, your retrieval cues become stronger, and your answer also will become more comprehensive. So that is another point. After that ragi has second highest increase. Government is also trying to promote the other grains, like millets, like jowar, ragi. We used to consume jowar and ragi, like jowar roti or ragi balls, ragi mudda, but now everybody shifted to rice. It has this millets are called Shri Anna, and they have good nutritional value, and also from agriculture perspective the amount of water they use is comparatively less, so it has both the benefits. So government is trying to indicate that also. And then if we see the other items, is government is saying MSP at the level of 1.5 times all India weighted average cost production. What does it mean? Means suppose a farmer spends around 100 rupees on the production, and government is saying minimum 150 rupees MSP will be given. This is the promise from 2018-19 union budget. Government is trying to do that. This was a Swaminathan's committee report recommendation in way back in 2004, and government is implementing this. How it is implemented? We have a something called A2 plus FL. A2 means the total production cost, whatever for the farming activity done by the farmers. It could be input cost like fertilizer, seeds, irrigation, everything, whatever they paid for it, that is A2. FL is farm labor, because unpaid labor is done by the family which is involved in the farming. So when you combine whatever the production cost comes, government is saying we will pay the MSP will be minimum 1.5% or more. So this is the government promise. Farmers demand for something called C2. This is a more comprehensive calculation. What they say is, the land is being used and other capital instruments are being used. You have to pay, rent and interest on that also, because if you don't do agriculture and do some other activity, rent can be earned from them. So C2 is more comprehensive. This means this A2 plus FL plus the the rent and interest on the land and other capital inputs in the farming, that is C2, and farmers demand this, but government is giving A2 plus FL. And another point is the expected margin of farmers, it is highest in case of bajra. For bajra they are saying 63% more, 163% will be given. If 100 rupees is the production cost, the 163 rupees MSP will come approximately. So government is also indicating here. So bajra is getting the highest profit margin as per the MSP. That says we are promoting the millets. That is also another indication we can see. So this is about the news item basically. Let's go forward and see about MSP. So how MSP started historically, there was a program called PL 480. Through this program we used to import food grains from America. We used to be dependent upon them, and it was like if the ship comes delayed, then our food security used to be threatened, and our prime ministers used to literally request the foreign countries for the imports. We were dependent on them. So after that we have started our green revolution, and we started getting food security. In 1965, APC Agriculture Price Commission was started, and in 1967 MSP on the wheat for the first time was started, and this was mainly done for the adoption of green revolution. You must be aware of green revolution. Green revolution was mainly talking about high yield seeds, wheat, and with a lot of irrigation and high pesticides. This program was started to increase the production of the wheat and rice mainly, and it was a great success, but there was nothing green about it. It leads to water depletion, and it leads to soil problems also because of the over fertilizers use. But it was called green revolution then, and so mainly MSP on wheat was there to so that farmers will adopt green revolution, adopt these high yielding seeds. To promote this, it was started. And then from then on it grew. And then Commission on Agriculture Cost and Price, CACP. This is a body attached to the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. The CACP is the body which recommends MSP. So CACP recommends MSP. This is attached with our Ministry of Agriculture. So this is not a statutory body, and MSP is not a legal right. There is no legal basis for the MSP, but farmers are requesting for that, demanding for that. But as of now, it is just a administrative mechanism government evolves for the protection of the farmers and also for food security. So CACP is the body which recommends it, and then it is approved by Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs chaired by Prime Minister. So CACP recommends and our Cabinet Committee approves. And what all the factors CACP sees? It sees cost of production, demand and supply, inflation, and market price trends, intercrop parity. These are the factors CACP sees, and then it recommends. And CACP recommends MSP of 23 commodities. As you can see, 7 cereals: paddy, wheat, maize, jowar, pearl millet, barley and ragi; 5 pulses: gram, tur, moong, urad, lentils; 7 oil seeds: groundnut, mustard, soybean, sesame, sunflower, safflower, Niger seed; 4 commercial crops: copra, sugarcane, cotton and raw jute. So basically but as I have told before, out of the 23 commodities, the main are paddy and wheat. It is for 90% goes for paddy and wheat only of the total MSP allocation. So when Government of India declares MSP for all these crops, it doesn't mean government will procure all these crops. It is not feasible also, but what government is trying to say is this will be the minimum price. Suppose if the cost is above MSP, then government already achieved its purpose, and because farmers are already getting the remunerative price. But if because of the bumper crops, say in pulses, then government will step in and it will procure. But procurement also, as I have told, it is mainly for paddy and wheat, because we do it for our PDS. Public distribution system. We want to have the grains, and we have and we keep them for also for disaster management issues. We have a buffer stock. So Food Corporation of India does that. So for that, paddy and wheat are procured. So but other crops, only when need arises it will be done. And there is also a point that mainly procurement is done in Punjab, Haryana and Western UP. It is in those states only, and other states also, but majority is done there. So there is a variation in the procurement also, because we don't have procurement places, lack of staff issues are there. So sometimes, even though, let's say, MSP of rice is declared as 23 25 per quintal by Government of India, but because of the various factors, farmers sell it for 1,400 also, because they want immediate cash, they are indebted, and sometimes FCI, Government of India, also rejects if the grains don't follow certain conditions. That is also another problem, and farmers cannot wait till this procurement is done, and these farmers also depend on middleman, because they can't transport the goods to wherever the procurement centers are there. So various issues are there. So and lack of cold storages are also there, because you have to store the grains till procurement. Because of all those reasons, sometimes farmers are actually forced to sell below the MSP also. This is also happening because implementation of issues are there. So government is trying to rectify them also. And another point here is for sugar cane, you call it fair and remunerative price. This is recommended by CACP, and Cabinet Committee approves it, but this is implemented by Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Department of Food and Public Distribution. This ministry implements this, and it directs the sugar mills. There are 14 days timeline is there. As soon as sugar cane is supplied, you have to pay within the 14 days, so that farmers are protected. The sugar cane order is there, that is being implemented by Ministry of Consumer Affairs. So basically, why MSP, and why what it trying to achieve? So various issues are there. First is farmers' perspective, and then another issue is food security perspective from the nation's point of view. Another perspective is to balance the market disruptions, market perspective, and also consumer perspective. All these points can be organized conceptually in your mind. The first is income security for the farmers, because if the bumper crop comes, the price will fall down, and there should be a safety net for the farmer, and MSP is trying to achieve that. And basically MSP is declared before the sowing only, so that a farmer can know well before how much minimum price he is going to get. So accordingly he will invest in the crops. Second most important thing is food security, because we have a public distribution system, and we need grains like rice and wheat to supply through PDS. So we need promotion of certain crops, and also we need food security for the country also. We don't want to be dependent for the grains on the foreign countries, and this is one of the greatest achievement of India, because we were literally dependent on foot to mouth for the grains, and we used to wait for the ships of the America to get the grains. Now we have not only food security, we export also. So that is a great achievement. So we need food security for during disaster management also. During COVID-19 also, a lot of food distribution was done. So from all perspective, MSP helps us to ensure food security. Then rural development, because farmers know well in advance, so it will lead to the investment and entire rural development, and incentivize the farmers so that they can take up the farming activity, so that there is a safety net. And investment in agriculture, so because of MSP they will invest more in the agriculture, and they will be motivated to invest. And like for example Niger seeds, they increase the MSP. Now more farmers can take up Niger seeds. It will promote edible oil production in India. Like that, government can using MSP can send signals for the agriculture sector of India. And price stability, this is one of the most important factor, because once government gives a minimum support price, it stabilizes the entire market. And informed decisions, because farmers already know, they can make informed choice how much investment to make. Risk mitigation, risk will be reduced with this. And return on investment, as we have seen, A2 plus FL and 1.5 times minimum, government is giving. So 50% profit will be there on the, some returns on the investment are there. And exploitation by the middleman is reduced because MSP is there. To an extent, it is reduced, but yeah, as we have discussed, sometimes middlemen have a enormous power, and especially where procurement is not done, in the crops procurement is not done, and logistic issues are there, middleman plays a big role, and he is the biggest enemy, and he is causing the big indebtedness to the farmers, and government is trying to change that. And what are the issues in MSP? First one is economists don't like whenever in demand supply some intervention is done. So in this case, actually what pure economist thinks is everything should happen according to demand and supply. Whatever people demand, market should produce that. But here government through MSP program is trying to say, these 23 crops, for production should be increased. Economists say, even if you import, it is good. If you should get, the consumer should get at the lowest price. But yeah, we have various issues like forex reserves requirement and all. So the demand supply says ki MSP is trying to distort the economy, and private investment will come only when their restrictions are less. So that is one issue with respect to MSP. And another issue is rice and wheat, they take lion's share. In that, rice takes majority, 60%. So 90% of MSP allocation is gone there only. So, for our edible oils, for commercial crops and for pulses, it is comparatively less. And for other grains also, and crop diversification. So because MSP is more on rice and wheat, farmers are going for rice and wheat only, and these are very high water intensive crops. It is reducing our water table, and fertilizer usage is also very high, and so because of that we have various issues, and crop diversification is being affected because of this MSP. So for a balanced crop growth and crop growth according to the demand, we MSP tries to distort that. This is another view economists and thinkers say. And MSP benefits are for few states only, as we have discussed. Lion's share goes to Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, and Chhattisgarh. Other states also procurement is there, but comparatively less. So there is a skewedness in there. The balance, more balance can be used. So there is another issue with respect to MSP. WTO, foreign countries like America, Australia, they accuse that our MSP is against WTO rules, and they are trade distorting. So as you must be aware, in WTO there are 3 boxes like green box, blue box and amber box. Green box is totally non-trade distorting, so it is fully allowed, like agriculture research, pest control, like and then blue box is mildly trade distorting, still allowed, but amber box is totally trade distorting, and it is Western countries are saying MSP is against this, and it should be, this subsidy is distorting the world trade, and it should be reduced or it should be eliminated. There is a de minimis rule. The de minimis rule, it is related to amber box only. What it says is, suppose if for developed countries, if the subsidy is allowed up to 5% of the total production, and for developing countries up to 10% of the total production, the subsidies are allowed. If the subsidies are cross 10%, then it won't be allowed. So what foreign countries are saying, for India it is crossing 10%, so they have to eliminate it. Then WTO did this peace clause, enacted this in 2013. What it says is to protect the developing countries, because food security is important. So what it said is, using the peace clause, the subsidies will continue. But government of India says this 10% is, we are below 10%, because WTO uses 1986-87 as the base year, and this is a old, because of that it our looks subsidies are more. Actually, if you take recent years, our subsidies will be less within the 10%. That is Government of India agreement. But Government of India uses this peace clause to protect against the usage of subsidies as of now. But it is a temporary mechanism. And so we can see a tension between the food security, because India is a sovereign nation. It should have mechanisms wherewithal to have the food security for the poor people, because it's a developing nation. And but WTO talks about trade liberalization. There is a fear that if these food grains, subsidized food grains are released in the world market, they can distort the prices. So this is the tension we can see between the food security and trade liberalization. But for us, food security is of paramount interest. So this is it from my side, friends. I am Gopi Krishna from Glorious IAS Academy. Thank you very much. Thank you.